Hi, my name is Mike Lewis, and for more than 30 years, I've represented the construction industry in California on water quality and water supply issues. I've been thinking a little bit about the discussions taking place today between the president and the governor on our water supply in California, and I wanted to share some thoughts with you. You know, Mark Twain once wryly observed that in the West, whiskey is for drinking and water is for fighting over. Nowhere has that become more apparent than in the kerfuffle between President Trump and Governor Newsom over the recent Palisades and Eaton fires. Both of them are right and both of them are wrong. Has our water system been mismanaged for the benefit of political expediency? Yes, it has. Would more water from the north have benefited the firefighters? No. Can the president force some changes in the decades-old California water policies? Yes. Does the public understand where their water comes from? No, they don't. The last question is the reason the president is able to conflate water allocations from the north with dry fire hydrants in the Palisades, though there's little direct relationship. We have plenty of water right now. Our local reservoirs are full due to conservation and careful management by our water agencies. When California Senator Ruben Ayala chaired the Water Committee, he often said, "People think water comes out of their wall." In those days, droughts were rare, water was plentiful, and as long as it was kept flowing, the details were not important to most consumers. California's water system is a clever, aging, Rube Goldberg construct that counts on snowpack accumulating as storage in the western Sierras, melting slowly, refilling reservoirs that drain slowly to the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta, where it is picked up by pipes and pumps and canals and lakes and sent to the desert in the south where 27 million people live. For the South, that's just 30% of their supply. Another 25% comes from the Colorado River that gets its snowmelt from the Rockies. The Los Angeles Aqueduct gets its water from all the land that William Mulholland bought for the city of LA in the Owens Valley near the Bishop area, drawing its water from the snowpack in the eastern Sierras. The remainder is generated locally from groundwater sources, recharged from stormwater capture in local dams, and recycled, treated wastewater. With all those sources, it's been easy to juggle supplies when one runs short for any particular reason. Unfortunately, the Colorado users are fighting over allocations. The residents around Bishop want their water rights back and their pumping. And pumping is severely limited due to the Delta smelt, a tiny fish that is considered endangered and functionally extinct in the wild because only a single numbers have been found for nearly a decade. All of those have squeezed the water supply from outside the Southern California region. It has made even more urgent the need to assure a reliable and resilient local water supply. Local leaders have proposed building pipelines and intakes from the south of the Delta to the north to take the water out before it gets to where the fish live. That's a $20 billion project. We've proposed a $3.6 billion local project to take highly treated wastewater and pipe it to the foothills to increase groundwater recharge. Voters have also approved a $300 million a year tax to build stormwater capture and treatment facilities to take advantage of every drop of the little rain we get in California. Taxpayers are also providing $250 million a year to fund a flood control system that needs to be modified to capture stormwater rather than letting it go directly to the ocean. The federal government has been funding the repair of 5 local dams that could be able to hold stormwater for groundwater recharge as well. And finally, the state voters have approved billions in new dams that have yet to be built. All the local water agencies have collectively offered millions in incentives and rebates for low-flow toilets, water-saving appliances and irrigation systems, leak detection, rain barrels, and turf removal and replacement with drought-tolerant plantings. One thing is for sure, we can't conserve our way out of the problem. California's per capita water use is 85 gallons per day. In 2015, it was 150 gallons per day. The state has set a goal of 47 gallons per person per day. That would be the lowest in the nation. Wasting water is not the problem in Southern California. With all of that, how is it that we still have a water problem? Politics. Northerners don't think Southerners should be taking their water, even though we only take 4% of what goes through the Delta to the sea. Environmentalists don't believe in surface storage, dams. They fight every one of them, but they don't offer any realistic alternative. Community groups want community benefits with each taxpayer investment. That drives up the price and delays every project. Bureaucratic inertia has delayed projects for years. We could be capturing twice as much stormwater in local dams if we would just clean out the muck and the sediment that's accumulated behind the 14 dams we now control. The cities have spent less than 20% of the hundreds of millions of dollars they've been given for stormwater capture projects. The California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, has been the weapon of choice to delay and kill any project that someone disagrees with. It's the policy equivalent of an AR-15, but no politician will touch it. Our water supply is being dictated by special interests that have no concern for the consumers who are footing the bill for everything. Those interests have the ear of the politicians, and the result is a water policy that's based on bias and preference rather than engineering. In comes President Trump, the disruptor in chief, and he knocks all the checkers off the table. Right or wrong, he puts everyone on the defensive. The public thinks he makes sense because in much of it, he does. Politicians and bureaucrats aren't used to being challenged in front of a TV camera. The public doesn't understand their leaders' explanations or their excuses. The voters have a right to think that the billions they are paying, everything should be working. Now they find out, under the worst of circumstances, it isn't. That's a problem for the water industry. If the public loses confidence in their plans, the money will dry up. Now is the time for the governor and our state water leaders to sit down with the president and the federal water managers and talk openly and plainly about how we're going to fix our teetering water infrastructure and provide a long-term, reliable, and resilient water supply for consumers and agriculture. Waiting it out isn't an option. Thank you.